I had been trying to do some things on my own. It wasn't really working. The final straw that broke the camel's back, if you will, was my annual labs that I had in June of last year. My blood sugar was creeping up, so I needed to bring that down, realizing doing it on my own was not working. I needed help. Hi, I'm Ben. I'm 42 years old. I've been a member of Restoration Fitness for a little over a year, about 13 months now. My biggest goal when I first started was to drop some pounds, get healthy, and get my labs looking good for the following year. I think I've crushed every single objective I had coming in. I lost weight. I lost way more weight than I anticipated, 40 pounds worth of fat. My labs at the doctor's office, all the levels were back where they needed to be. Blood sugar was down. My cholesterol was slightly elevated before. It was down in normal ranges. I've lost 15% body fat. That's been huge. Never in a million years thought I'd be able to do that in a year. And I'm also down 9 points of visceral fat. A year ago, didn't even know what visceral fat was a thing. So I've learned how to get the proportions correctly. I was always trying to eat healthy before, but I didn't know how much carbs versus veggies versus protein I needed to have. So that was step number one, was kind of getting that in check. And as I've gone through the whole thing, I've learned that, you don't need a diet. You can eat whatever you want as long as you keep the proportions right, and it's very freeing. And in fact, I eat more now than I did before I started this whole thing. And I'm losing weight. Before I started at Restoration, I wasn't even running. I was not doing any kind of physical activity at all. And one of the things I was encouraged to do from the beginning was to take walks and just be a little more active. And one thing led to another, and I got an app, free app on the App Store, and started a Couch to 5K program. And it was a struggle, but I got through it. I did my very first 5K race in December of last year. I had to walk with the second half of it because my knee was giving me issues, but I finished, so that was the big thing. So coming into this year, I did my first 5K in March, ended up with a time of 27 minutes, 11 seconds, which was fantastic. Just the fact to get under 30 minutes doing a 5K was a dream of mine, and then to do it by that much was huge. So after I started PT with Noah, my next race was in June. It was a series of 3 5K races. The June race, my time dropped down to 25:33. In July, my time dropped down to 24:27. And then the last one in August, my time dropped down to 24:18. So I was able to get under 25 minutes for the last 2 races, something that a year ago, never thought would have been possible. At Restoration, everybody's welcoming. The coaches, they don't judge you. They meet you right where you're at. They'll adjust all of the workouts and all of the routines specifically to where you're at, what your needs are. When I first started, I remember things like up downs I couldn't do without being on a box and using that for assistance. I couldn't do lunges without holding on to rings. And having the coaches right there next to me and say, hey, do it this way, or hey, let's modify it this way, and just kind of recognizing where I was struggling probably more than I needed to for that particular movement. And they're there to help. And the members themselves, everybody's super friendly, super nice. Everybody's at a different part of their journey, and the ones that have been doing this for a while, they all started somewhere, and they all recognize that. And when you walk into a class with them, it's again, everybody's very open-minded to where you're at and very welcoming and willing to work with you, and it's great.